Alright, I'm gonna log, or I'm gonna open up Unity and do whatever it was you said in the chat to turn off there.
Yeah, it should just be in the options. Hello? Hello.
Hello.
I do like that the improved mobile layout is a terrible layout. Perfect. Anime appeal. Man, this is very good. Good job, Jeff.
What is the movie strip thing in the...
Animated panel effects.
Oh, that's okay, you pasted that into... I meant the one on the left, but I see that it's in there now.
Oh, yeah.
If if we do a devlog, the
I've been doing a devlog. It's minor, but it's
a
up.
YouTube one, I mean, like a
Mhm.
video devlog. The format of it should be like, you know how the beginning of every Marvel movie they like, you know, they pan the camera around an old comic book page and zoom in and yada yada yada. We should do that on this, and then, you know, between each thing, each new thing, it comes back to this and like zooms out and then goes to the next thing, swappable panels, and then yada yada yada. We talk about swappable panels and how we want them to work.
I see. I know.
If we do a video devlog, Dave should be the guy on camera because he has a DSLR and he's handsome.
Can't imagine that Dave will want to do that.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Well, then he should let me borrow his DSLR camera. Actually, I don't know if showing your face really matters as much for
Then he
devlogs.
should let me borrow his handsome.
Like if you're trying to start an actual YouTube channel, they say not showing your face is a tough thing to do and start a YouTube channel in 2024. But you know, for devlogs, that's
Get
not.
one of those VTuber things.
I
Oh
feel like those
God.
always look cheap and like I mean
They're popular.
they're popular for streaming and gaming and playing games, but I've never seen a developer devlog use one, and I think it would cheapen the. I think it would look a little bit amateurish, which could be fine if we're going for that on purpose or something.
I'm not.
Or
I mean, I'm not serious at all. I don't have any desire to do a devlog. That's more time that I just don't feel like.
it's a lot of time, but
Yeah.
I towards the end I would uh consider doing one as a marketing mechanism, but I would like, to be honest, like the most of the work that's going to be done for this game isn't really the type of work that's super interesting to talk about in a devlog until we get to like the
Yeah. You're not gonna see like stuff jumping around.
Yeah, it's
The
not.
most interesting part is the
Mechanics.
render textures, and they're not even that interesting, to be honest.
The maybe just like a devlog about marketing it, like okay, we tried this and we got in front of this guy and here's his reaction. That's the like here's the comics he made. Here's what he made with his friends, showing people playing it. I think that's the number one thing I took away from that Steam talk at GDC was like your game, people playing it, make that your marketing. Also, David has not answered.
He
his
may not show
lesson.
up.
Dave said, I texted Dave yesterday at 6:27, 2 days ago at 3, and he has not texted back yet. He's probably texted in the group once or so before, since then. Oh no, I'm not seeing anything from Dave since Sunday. Well, I like that. I like what you just had. Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of the.
Alright, well, Dave's not here, but we can. The rule is we just start because you can't just wait around. It takes fucking
Here are
forever.
3 ways that Adobe Acrobat.
Ooh. Alright, I guess we'll just go through our sprints, talk about where we're at, and then talk about what we want to get done. Problems or not, whatever. So for mine, I did go through the process of learning how to make a company and all the things you need to do. At which point I learned that there's also a company that you can pay to do that for you, and I just did that instead because it was taking forever. And to make sure that I did it right, it's just easier to do that. So I paid someone to do it for us, put all our names on the company, and they're gonna give us like some sort of default basic charter, like a company organization document that'll
Should be the
that we
type
can-
of thing that we only
can
have to do
modify
once,
anytime.
so I have no problem.
It's the type of
just
thing we
paying
can also
someone else.
modify whenever we want. So if, like most of like the details, if there's stuff we want to change on them, it's easy enough to change, which is good. So that's what I did pretty much all day Saturday, and then at the end of Saturday, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna pay these people $150 to do this." Nice part is too, we get the heartlampgames.com
Oh
domain
really?
for
That's
a year.
cool.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
After a year, what, we have to pay for it to keep it?
probably. Yeah. We'll have to see how that all shakes out. They also offered like hosting services and stuff, but I assume that we're gonna want to host on a website
That's cool.
our
That's cool.
own.
That feels neat.
Yeah, so we have heartlampgames.com is our domain. And then I went through and started to make quality of life improvements, but the only ones that are in right now are using a tool on a sticker now doesn't swap its order, which is fucking nice. That was really annoying.
Oh yeah. But
So
like
now
moving it and dragging it will still.
moving it and dragging it will still.
Yeah.
That's like the default behavior of what I think we would expect, but we could we'll have to figure out exactly how many buttons we can, or how many presses, individual actions we can build into mobile that feel intuitive, right? So we'll have to test that.
I have ideas for everything except mirror.
Yeah, like some of the stuff could be a double tap, some stuff could be a hold to tap, but I also want hold to add a new sticker, because the more and more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking about getting rid of Mr. Ideas on the bottom right and just maybe we can put them in the center of the radial menu, and then just make a radio menu always, and then we just feed in, like, okay, on modes where we have a specific set of stickers you can use, then the radial menu is just limited to those stickers, right?
So, the more I was thinking about it depends how many stickers we have in the end per pack, I guess, but the radial menu may actually. The more I was thinking about it, I definitely want to try the radial menu. It's the prettiest way to
I
get
think it has to
stickers
be a
out.
radial menu unless you have another idea. Like
Keep
we
the
need
radial
a
menu
way.
because I have a good idea for the
Well,
the panel.
We need a way for the radial menu because we need a way to select specific stickers. It's either a radial menu or a set of menu options, right? Whichever one you prefer, but having a radial
think
menu
the
that comes up in the
original-
middle is probably best for mobile because you don't risk fucking up by having anything on the sides
so the
where people are
radial
trying
me-
to swipe up.
we can see how it'll be a real see how it goes kind of thing, I think, because like the way I would picture a radial menu working is you hold down and the radial menu pops up and it's like character silhouette on the one side and a guitar silhouette for the props and a nose and then the eyes for the whatever, right? But then like if we have 50 characters, right? The readability of those characters in that radial menu goes down.
Oh no, I don't. I think the radial menu just starts. What just gets you is like, which section do I want to get to, and then after that,
Right.
it's a slide picker. So like I pick.
Even that though, even a sliding through wouldn't be bad. But the more I was thinking about it, the more I was thinking maybe for certain modes at least, the original thing Dave suggested, which was just a ultimate chicken horse thing, that a big box that covers your whole screen and you can see a whole bunch of shit at once, and that can be pushed up or down at any time, is the way to go. But we'll see.
But then you're gonna want to be able to drag them to specific spots. Like the benefit of the radio menu is you can hold and press, and that's where your thing will go. And then we could pop the menu right in the middle, and then you can select exactly what you want, and then it'll put it right where you had selected for the radio menu. You know. So we could like put a placeholder sticker there of like a question mark or something, right, while you're selecting, and then or maybe we even like have it so that as you go through, it's a like a select and then approve so that you can preview what the sticker that you might want there.
A big advantage to the big box is if I want to pull out 3 characters at once, I can do that.
We could probably do like multi-select on it, but yeah, but then that gets weird because they all go to the same area. That is the only weird thing. But I think I want to go against drag controls for that because I am worried of the mobile controls. It's a significant issue where people are accidentally
Pulling up the thing. Yeah, that was the number one issue
pulling
at
up.
TDC. Honestly,
Yeah,
the people I
100%.
showed the game to, every single one of them did it at least once.
Yeah. Unity does have also we should try to upgrade to Unity 6 too because they have improved mobile support, which I think improves the mobile, how well it runs on mobile, and also how excuse me.
Is that a paid thing?
No, but you do have to like agree to their new terms. So it means that we'd be on those terms that everyone hated, but those got reduced down to pretty bearable terms.
So here's a question:
But
if
yeah.
you made a whole game in that, and then figured out like actually these terms are terrible for us the way we're looking at scaling, and then you just imported the whole thing back into the old version of Unity, would you avoid those terms then, just because you?
I'm not sure.
use
There
that
might
to
be
build?
something in the thing for that, you know, in like the terms themselves saying you can't like build in that and then go back. But it doesn't matter. Actually, maybe it doesn't matter because like you're really the new version is the only reason you'd be going to the new version is because it has new features. So you lose those features. But I think the biggest thing is like if you found out the terms weren't working for you like financially, is like Unity doesn't want to lose you if they think that it'll be a success. So that like if you can show that you're profitable, but you can't sustain it. Like if you show them the numbers, it sounds like they'll work with you. So like what's shitty about it is that you have to do that, but it sounds like from things I've been reading is that like Unity's thing, one, those terms are much more lenient now because they always get reduced to the lesser of the two charges. And two, Unity has consistently said we will work with you on that if like the terms don't make sense on a case-by-case basis. Here, I'm gonna put my the code in for the room I'm in. We should also play around with the game while we're in these meetings, so that we like can find bugs and shit and performance issues.
Okay.
There definitely is a performance issue on mobile where every once in a while I get jitter, and I don't think that's lag. I think that's frame, maybe memory clearing or something from the stickers. Maybe I need to clear their memory, the mesh memory or something.
I got some sort of weird error when I was showing it to Sarah and Chelsea the other day, and Joe.
Do you know what happened?
No, I couldn't make it happen again.
Yeah, like what generally happened as a
I got some sort of error message when I clicked run game.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, when you clicked run
Even
game-
just clicking run game is
Oh,
really
on
broke.
launch you mean? Like it wouldn't launch.
Yeah,
That's interesting. But you tried it again and it worked?
and I tried it again. It worked. Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to. I don't know what that is. That's not as big of a deal, honestly, because then if you just refresh and relaunch it, you're
Yeah.
not breaking in terms of like mid-game breaking. But yeah, that's something we'll have to look into. Hopefully, Unity's mobile controls mobile support updates that and fixes that. Yeah, I mean, obviously on PC it works fine. I don't know. Start dragging stuff around, whoever this is.
Oh, are
I
we
see
in the
you.
game right now?
Someone's in here. Is that Dave?
Yo.
Are you dragging stuff right now, Dave? Because actually.
Dragging the
Alright, so we are
Oh, it's
already
you again.
desynced.
around.
We are already desynced. Interesting. Let me refresh. So this is a good. Can you stream your screen real quick, Dave? And Chris, why don't you join me?
You should
Two,
build
real quick.
with my title screen and stuff.
Yeah,
so
we'll
that you
rebuild
can
by
see.
that at some point. Or yeah, at
See the nice.
I did see it, but the title screen doesn't adjust properly for me.
Really?
Like when I hit host, the buttons don't go all the way. Let me look at your screen, Dave. So like if I hit host on the title screen, like I don't know if you're
Oh,
looking
weird.
at my screen.
Are you?
Oh,
in-
Dave, you don't have all the stickers. Interesting. I thought I fixed that bug, but I guess I didn't. Or maybe I reintroduced them. Yeah, I pulled the most recent branch.
Are you in free
Um,
aspect in that?
No, I'm 16 by 9.
Still, mine works on 16:9 and free, so I'm not sure why. Or maybe it doesn't. actually.
Anyway, let me restart the room. That's very strange. I could have sworn I fixed that bug. Maybe I reintroduced it with some of my edits to the.
That's fine. All I need to do actually is have it.
6TK PLD, excuse me. 6TK PLD. And I'm gonna spawn one sticker to see if it breaks for Dave.
I'm gonna play on computer.
That's what I'm playing on right now.
Yeah. My phone is pretty slow.
6TK PLD. Oh, weird. Wait, hold on, Dave. You're that's because you're on a different version. You're going to my old version.
I don't know. What should I be clicking on? I'll click the most recent link in Discord.
That might still be my old version. That's why. Okay, I did fix that bug. I think I did at least. It's here. I'll give you the link. 1 second. There's a version I use here. I'm gonna put it in the sprints, and I'll pin the message so that it's always available. Oh yeah, pin it. All right, Chris, you see the mouse over here?
Mm-hmm.
That should be fixed. All right, so everyone should be in and seeing all this. Let me know if anyone sees something that doesn't look right.
What is the code
60
again?
PLD.
Black box is a real thing.
Yeah, it's like a blackout.
We should test in competitive mode while we
okay.
have enough people to do so.
We could theoretically make it a panel effect instead. The blackout.
Oh yeah, I meant to do that. I just I didn't do it for GDC because I didn't think the black panel. I wanted the black panel to always have a the writing in it text box thing, so you could put like, whatever you want to, like, not
Oh, that was
picture.
weird. I think I just grabbed. Did someone else also just grab the fat guy? Oh, there he is. He disappeared from me for a second. All right, you grab him, and I'm gonna try to grab him. Here, you try to grab him from me.
Oh, he disappeared from me. When I try to grab him, he disappears.
Can't put this hat on this guy.
Yeah, he disappears for a second, and then he comes back when
Hat is
his
always
layer
in the
changes.
background.
Hat is always in the background for you.
Yeah.
Weird. All right. Yeah, we need more. We need to do more of this testing. Let me write some of this shit down.
What do you
I
guys
can only
think
test so
of?
much, like
Well,
as myself. All right.
I was just saying we should do co-op.
Stickers are locked to the background.
While people are here. Wait, everybody out.
All right. Dave, your hat
remember.
is still locked to the background. Can you grab it again? It's right here.
Damn, where is the you go garbage.
Yeah, it's behind this dude only.
This dude. Oh, okay. So hold on. Let me reset him. Now try.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. But when so it was not locked to the background, but locked behind a specific sticker. So that probably means this guy's sticker didn't update to the proper layer for you. So some sticker layers are still not updating. Maybe what I should do, honestly, is just do a redundant check, like have something run every 5 seconds that checks the sticker layer and just manually sets it, because it's networked properly. It just is missing the queue that tells it to change. But maybe just for redundancy, I'll just have have everything run coroutines that say, "Hey, check your sticker layer again," just so that even if it fails, it eventually fixes itself. All right. What is it? If we grab the same sticker, it disappears sometimes, right? And let's test that again. So I'm gonna grab black box here. Someone try to grab it from me and tell me what happens to them.
I can't grab it currently.
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna let it go. And now I'm gonna try to grab it. It's weird that it only happened for that one sticker, but I can't get it. You're out of my Mr. Ideas. I also can't steal from you anyway. That's how it's supposed to work. All right. But I guess it should never
You threw away the regular turtle. You ruined my
let
idea.
you steal. Well, the regular fucking you could easily get the regular turtle. I feel like there's 1,000 regular turtles.
Cool.
All right, everyone clean up while this. Oh my god, this is why we need that fucking sticker picker.
Got him. Yeah, sticker picker and but in this mode though, what this mode really are in the competitive mode though, randomness of stickers being an element of it. Dave had an idea of like, what if the coins had the same iconography as the radial wheel basically, and it was like character coin, prop coin, that you got rewarded with, which I think is a really cool idea. I like that a lot.
For the competitive mode, or just like the co-op mode, it should just be like
competitive.
literally. Yeah. I like the idea that there's a coin specific to, like a currency specific to the type of sticker. I think that's neat. There's definitely something there. But for me, right now, I'm mostly going to be focusing on fixing these bugs. Like for right now, for example, when you spawn these, probably because multiple people spawn them at the same time, and it's over the network, some of the layers don't set properly for like what's actually
who threw away
showing
the
in
sensor
front
bar
and what
now? I
isn't.
got the turtle, but I lost my goddamn sensor bar.
I'm cleaning up. That's me. I'm throwing everything away. There we go. Sensor
There you
bar.
Sensor bar. I like it covering his nipple. I just.
Draw him shirtless, Dave. That's a really easy pose.
I'm gonna do backwards poses for everyone and like a special character pose for everyone. Like he'll be flexing or something. So yeah, I can get him shirtless.
I think even if I think we need, even if we have to bring in multiple artists, like if me or any of us and Jeff have to come on and like do just take your drawings and modify them to have other poses. I think every character should have several
It's important to
poses.
have the same
keep
brush
adding
strokes
to
that
it,
Dave
but
has.
I keep adding to it, but
Takes a while.
that's what I'm. Yeah, it's just a lot for each character, and as I add more characters, there's more people things. But I just mean like
I also, you know,
I've got nearly all the backs in right now, and
the
next
backs
will
are
Which I
be
think
unique.
one
something.
special pose.
The backs are unique,
Well,
but like so they'll take the longest, but like you should be able to do a lot just by modifying the front facing image and moving the arms around for the big guy.
Yeah, yeah.
part of me was
Okay.
wondering if we should take a like. I don't. I think I want to lean. I don't think this is the actually right way to do it. But if the idea thought popped in my head, and I figure I'll present it. Of like, what if instead of making Dave drawing different character poses, he just draws different character pieces, like the arms, the legs, the head, the torso, and then we come up with poses that are that are just the arrangement, the rotation and position of these parts together.
Honestly, drawing them
Um,
is fine. Like I could draw them. I
okay,
could
it's not. It
draw them
doesn't
pretty
take that
fine. But
long.
like
Yeah.
like designing like a pose that works. Like this part of the struggle when you start like actually thinking of what poses should I make is like when am I actually just taking away from the game by adding this pose? You know.
Never,
Mm.
because we
Like
could just leave it out. Just do whatever ideas you have. Like just get as many out as you possibly can. Like
The biggest problem right now with making jokes is that you are limited by not having these figures be able to position their hands in the right way, right? So like if you're trying to say someone's eating something, right? Your only real choice is to just put food in their mouth
right,
or something,
exactly.
or
Yeah.
it doesn't just doesn't feel as dynamic.
yeah, I
Which is
mean you
why I was
could zoom
saying,
in, put the hand thing that you get, with the sandwich in its mouth, but
yeah, it's
or
just
in
not
its hand. I mean.
as nice as it would be, right? For if you had, or like, what if I wanted to do someone throwing a punch, or someone being aggressive, or someone like uh, sleeping? It's just there just needs to be more poses
Well,
for that
that's what I
kind of
mean. Like
thing.
some of those examples are perfect, right? Like sleeping. Why not have that just like turn them on their side and give them sleepy eyes? It takes away from like it's doing some of that work, that creative
I don't know,
work that
having
we're.
his hands tucked under his chin, which is something you couldn't do in that method, adds something to the visual, I think, and sells it a little more and makes it feel less like a, you know, uh,
Very basic, just like body language, emoting, like angry body. And,
Like, what if I wanted the cop to be pointing a gun, and then what if I wanted that gun to be made out of cheese? What if that's the joke I want to make?
that's a
Like,
little too, that'd be a tough one to, without just drawing a cheese gun or doing a cheese shader.
well, I could just put cheese in their hand, but I could do but Dave could have the pose where he's holding something out, the classic holding the gun
That's
pose.
sort of what I mean. Like each character could have their own,
Yeah.
character pose.
Yeah, like the body lift builder clearly could have the lifting a weight or lifting something heavy, but yeah, I think more poses is definitely needed regardless, and just for now, just do whatever comes to you the most obvious. But also, I do want to keep open this idea of posable stickers of like, okay, we would have Dave draw arms, legs, a torso, and a head, and then we would have set poses that you could set them to, just that are set rotations and transform positions, and then also maybe the person themselves could actually repose the sticker.
I briefly
Um,
considered that, but I think the problem with that
you
is
probably lose some visual fidelity in the sticker
it's
itself. in
going to,
that.
yes, to make that look right, it would need to look like a rigged thing, and
Yeah,
it might as well be
it wouldn't
rigged at
always
that
be
point,
nice.
and it wouldn't have the, yeah, like the artistic thing that Dave is doing when drawing these things in a bespoke way is sort of lost, I think, when you do it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, and it actually fucks with our model a little bit. But I do think there's a way we could programmatically adjust the art to account for that, like programmatically fill in the elbows and stuff. But we're not there. That's not version 1.0. That's stripped to the restripping. Um,
I also think there's value to just like to making the poses somewhat ambiguous, right? And not even worrying about what they're going to be. Like just starting by doing like he's holding out one arm to the left, and you don't need to mirror it because you can always flip him, right? He's holding out one arm to the left. He's holding his fist in the air, right? That can be used for a lot of things. He's
Yeah, I think arm poses are really all you have to do. Like one arm out, two arm out, one hand up, two hands up. Like
that's at least a great place to start, I think.
Yeah.
and maybe like a
Yeah, I'm just saying getting
jumping
specific makes
pose, I
it.
don't know.
What's the last thing
Yeah.
you said, Jeff? Sorry.
Maybe like a jumping pose.
Yeah, jumping, sleeping, sitting, leg
Oh
stuff.
man, I need to make cartoon X dead eyes. That's what I need to make.
Anyway, we had started about 20 minutes ago when Marcus going through his sprints, and now we're playing the game.
Yeah, well, I want to. We should get in the game
We
every
should.
single time.
We should.
To sit and talk about what we hate. We should make a couple of comics, maybe at the start
We should.
or maybe at the end. I'm
We
not
should
sure
end
exactly
with
which order.
We should end with competitive. End the meeting with the competitive mode. I think tonight.
Every day we should or every meeting we should play the game. But I'm not sure if that should happen. Maybe we do that at the end and talk about what we want, and then that can help us form our sprints. But yeah. So basically that was it. I did the company formation thing. I got the thing where you can use a tool now without ordering them, and I have other stuff in the works. I was actually gonna say, Chris, I think because you're working on the title screen, if you want to work on the show hide room code thing, so that you can hide the room code when you're done letting people in.
Yeah, I can do that very easily within a
That should be
couple
pretty
minutes.
easy. Yeah.
I finally sat down and like learned canvases a little bit, so they're not as bad now.
They're actually not bad at all, but they're not great either. they're good enough. I'm gonna move that to yours, or I'm gonna take out Alpha Mind if you want to add it to your sprint for next week or something. I'm also gonna order mine, so I think a settings menu is going to be nice. But honestly, that's something that you could probably do too, Chris. I should probably just focus on the network stuff. So maybe I move some of the stuff. Am I allowed to edit your thing? Probably not, right? I'll reply to yours with stuff.
I can do. I'll definitely do the hide room
menu.
code. I'll put the settings menu in the extended because I think there's other stuff that I didn't finish from this time that I would, or that I find that poses. The number one thing I really want to get in is the poses, and then
Well, the poses is largely going to be my stuff, though. Like, I might do the poses because it makes more sense for me to do it, since I'll be developing the tools for it. Because there's going to be I want to make it as easy for Jeff and Dave to do what they want to do, and if it's easier for them to draw individual images for each person, then I can make a tool that just takes each, like if they just upload a folder or set of pick a folder, I can take every image in that folder and automatically group them together and call them a sticker, right? I can.
Do you have a folder for everything, and then how does it? It also needs to determine. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't really need to determine an order, but it does need to have a, I can do that. That's easy. That's not hard.
Well, you just don't know how I'm actually going to implement the pose swapping, and that needs to be hooked up in a way that the networking stuff works well, so that it tells the network when the poses have swapped. And really, I'm actually going to do a whole overhaul of how that stuff works anyway. So at very least, I guess I need to think about it, but it needs to be handled in such a way that it's easily hookable to the networking itself.
I mean, what do you need to know other than when it changes and what it changes? You don't even actually.
Yeah, I need to know when it changes and what it changes to. Basically, I need to know the index and how I store those indices is going to be. I'll need to figure it out how I want to store those. Basically, am
The
am
thing
I
I
storing
really want
all
to
these
work
indices
on
in their
it
own?
is like is like the UI, like more so the player input and how they do that, whether it's done with shaking or that stuff, or I want to, and how it works on mobile is what I want to work on next week.
Yeah, but just remember, if we do shaking stuff, we want to make that, because we're already seeing some performance issues on mobile. We don't want to run anything in the update, so we'll have to run, or if we don't have to, ideally. So like that's going to be super performance sensitive code, because like shaking, right? That's going to be something where you have to monitor movements over time, and that's going to be part of the base cursor. Like it shouldn't be its own
Well, the
script
only
that
one
sits out
who's
there.
going to be doing shaking in my mind is someone on a computer, not on a mobile device. But
Well, regardless of whatever we decide. So then, if it's on mobile, what would it be? Just a double tap then,
what did I say? Hold on, let me look at my notes.
or a hold press
I think I said
on a sticker?
hold for. I think I said hold for that, or maybe double tap, or no, hold. It was hold or double tap. I can't remember which. I probably would try both.
Yeah, but so that's just. I mean, at that point, that's just calling a script on a button, right? That's just setting up the action and then running that script on the button. But it should still be part of the um. What
Wait,
was it
what are you
called?
talking about? Button? What, like a button on the canvas you're
Oh,
talking about?
sorry, on an action or whatever, not a button, but running a script on an action. But it should still be part of the cursor controller, or the base cursor controller. Um, so that's the part where, uh, where it'll get, like, the design of it is going to be very important to make sure that it works for all cursor controllers, and it's just a standard action. And again, I'm going to be redesigning a lot of how this stuff works to work a little bit more smoothly. Because that stuff was all designed in the original Game Jam, over a course of 48 hours. So, um, I'm not saying you can't do it if you want to, but if you are going to do
Here's
it,
what I wanted to
at
get in
very
there
least
and show you.
wait
What I
until
wanted to do is
next
get in the
week.
room where you do the stickers, and the way I think, the optimal way I think. So let me ask you guys a few questions. Actually, let me go to those questions that I had meant to bring up, because they tie into this. Or maybe no, we'll go to most of them later. But the
Well, so that's well, we'll decide. We can decide in a bit how who we want to do the poses. But at very least, you'll do the show hide room code thing. I'll handle attaching stickers when they're placed on another sticker. Multi-select right now is a low priority to me. I think it would be cool, but it's not needed for what we're doing um, currently. Panel controls are high priority. Let me know if anything's something. Okay, so that's it. So those are the quality of life improvements that I'm going to be shooting for next week, now that I don't have the company thing, which took up really all my
I
Saturday.
want to design the here's the way I think the room should work is like that you're in. The first question I'll ask is, we still want to allow players to zoom in and out with the camera, correct? To be able to position and zoom the camera such that they could see, even if the panels were not perfectly aligned to fit on a phone screen, they could pan around and see them. We want that in the game, right?
I think it would be cool to have panels that are not just a linear set of 3 panels, and that would be required for that. How we handle it is going to take a lot of testing. Ooh, there I just got a little bit of a little bit of frame slowdown, but I'm not sure if that was lag or not. It must not have been, because again, it's all interpolation.
Well, I think that's actually what way do you see doing that other than just having a pan and zoom on the camera that the player goes in and out of?
So we would, like, maybe it wouldn't be a pan where they can control the camera really easily, but it would be like a button where they go to the next panel or the next view,
The problem with
the
that
next
is
specified view,
the
and
problem
then
with
they can have a zoom out view where they can see the whole thing.
yeah,
But like
yes.
button controls, not like not drag around the camera controls.
Yeah, so I mean, you could. I guess you could do it either way, but those are the two main ways I could see doing it. So I don't see that being a heavily tested thing. So I thought about working on that.
Well, I just don't know like how well it's going to, how good it's going to feel. Period. Like, is it going to
Yeah, that's
feel
the
good
thing
enough
I
to
want to
do it?
work on.
That's
Make
gonna
it
take
feel
a lot
good.
of time and work, and like, okay, so then we have to handle camera control on the network so that I'm showing the right part of the panels at the right times. Like, what?
Wait,
How
why?
many panels are
In what
so
mode would
that
that
like
be
what?
necessary?
Like the competitive. Like if I'm gonna show, like if I'm gonna show a 3-story
Oh yeah,
three
yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
two,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Oh,
then you're gonna need to pan through each of the things one by one. Like that's going to take time and effort. I just don't think for version 1.0 of this game it's the most important thing.
I think it
I
is.
think there's lower hanging fruit that could be attacked right
I think
now.
the S tier stuff is poses, word bubbles, just those general quality of life things. Poses, word bubbles though, number one and number two, and then A tier is panel controls and being able to resize and add panels as you go.
Yeah,
And
the
camera
resizing
control
as you
sort of goes
go
along with
is
that.
like resizing as you go uh is cool, but I don't, and Dave and Jeff, let me know what you think. I don't see resizing the panels being crucial to version 1.0 of this game.
I don't think so. I think like that could be a thing later on, like another, I don't know, feature with like
It is the number 3 thing that I want when I play the game, is to be able to at least add, if not resizing, maybe not, but adding panels, absolutely.
But we have to deal with layout stuff then, and that's going to be hard to do. Like, I think ideally before you get there, you just we need to work on just the general layout of the scene as a
Yeah, I'm
whole.
not saying.
Like
I'm
where those
saying
buttons go.
this is A
Like
tier. A
that's
tier is like
yeah.
3 meetings from now.
Well, let's just then let's put it on the back burner and talk about the stuff that we need to get done for next week, right? So that we are like I think those are good ideas, and I would like to have them in two, but I think we should focus on the things that we need to get done in the next meeting. And I think if you want to work on something like that, I think a great opportunity is to fix the layout for mobile. Maybe even assuming that the sticker picker is in, so that for example, these panels are centered, and figure out a best place for the buttons to go. If the buttons should go on the top, if they should go on the left side,
Well, with
like
that,
just
I don't need. So what is wrong currently with the layout for mobile?
right now, if you try to hit the buttons, they're on the top, so sometimes people pull down on the buttons themselves. If you try to grab stickers from the
Oh
middle
yeah, yeah.
or
I
from the
wouldn't.
bottom here, you
This is
pull up.
part of. That
If
was
you try
going to
to
be the
drag from
next
the
thing
left,
I got to, but we got sidetracked by the camera thing. My whole thing about the camera was actually leading into going into. I think the ultimate layout for this game, in terms of that room, is there's 3 modes: camera mode, sticker mode, panel mode. And the camera mode moves around, the pans and zooms the camera. Camera mode, panel mode adds and resizes panels, and sticker mode is what we have in now. The for the sticker mode, I would not mind working for next week on mobile, on intuitive mobile controls, and seeing if I could get stuff like double tapping, squeezing, and stretching on a sticker to change the size of it so that you don't have to hit the buttons if you don't want to. But we can move the buttons to the side. I think that was a good idea from the layout lady.
Also, yeah, figuring out that are you having Dave? It has to be at the top left of or like middle of the top left. It's annoying. We need to get those cursors updated. Anyway, I think I do think that if you want to work on controls, that's another great area to work on. If you want to get the mobile controls where you double tap and squeeze and pinch and
Yeah,
rotate.
I could
Like
do that.
working on that, great thing to work on because we don't have like there's so much of the game that just doesn't even feel good to play right now, and we want to just get this what we have right now, getting that to feel good is important. So
Well,
like
I
sticker
would like
picker is
to,
important for that.
if you're gonna do the stickers, the poses, and the text boxes, can you do them sooner? Just because like it would make the game so much better, so much faster if just that part was
Yeah, well,
in
I
there.
think so I'm gonna get the first highest priority for me is better cursor hotspot accuracy. That is like even just watching I think I assume what is Dave doing these I'm infuriated for him as he like tried to resize that mouth, right?
It's
That
a
felt
little
like shit.
janky,
That's
but
not
I
bad,
don't get
but
mad at it. But it's a little janky.
I get Sammy got mad at it when she was like she could tell not mad, but you could tell she was frustrated when she had trouble, especially on mobile when your
On
fingers
mobile,
already kind of
on
inaccurate.
mobile, I could see
Yeah.
that.
So like it's something that I think that's super high priority. First thing that gets done, better hotspot accuracy. So I don't know if Dave, are we
Oh wait,
getting new cursors for that, or should I just use the old cursors and then
So I don't have an old
manually set up?
cursor thing. Things that were like UI, like I didn't really I don't know, have any ideas for like a
just
trash
do
can
Yeah.
just
too.
for now, just do a cursor
Because I kept
hand.
drawing them, and then it was just like, oh, this should just be a sticker. I'm drawing a sticker, not a cursor.
I mean, if you
I
want to
can
make it
do
easy, the cursors.
the cursors.
For
Well, if so, yeah, as long as you just make wherever they're pointing, Jeff, wherever they're gonna click the same spot, that's the easiest for me. I can, if you have a great idea for a cursor and you just can't put the hot spot in the same spot, then I can do the programming work to make it a different hotspot for every cursor. But it's just slightly, it would just take time to do, which I don't want to spend on that if I don't have
Yeah,
to.
well, it just makes sense to do them all in the same
so what
spot.
precisely was Sammy having trouble doing? Just you
Use
trailed
stuff
off.
like scaling or rotating, applying a tool to a sticker. Because at very least, if you miss a sticker when you're trying to pick it up, you just can retry right there. But you have to go through the action of going up to the top left, hitting it, and then trying. And then if you miss, it defaults back to the regular cursor. Because that's how we want it to be. Because we didn't want. Maybe that's part of the change too. Maybe we just say you have to manually turn it off, or you have to
Yeah, I
at
think
least use
the
one
equipping
on
and
a
going
keyboard.
away model was fine for the game jam, but it is annoying. I'm much more frustrated with
Yeah.
that than I am,
That's something maybe since you're working on controls, maybe you could mess around with. But and also making sure that like she said she couldn't tell when she actually got it on a small sticker, so she would go to like rotate and then click on it, and she couldn't tell that
We
she
could do
was
an
now in the
outline
rotation
for
state.
that is selected. I can do an outline on
Yeah,
stickers
something
that are
like that.
selected.
Something so, and we'll have to make that outline super low.
All right,
You
hold on.
know.
Let me start writing this
Low
down.
performance.
Um,
Yeah, let's start just writing our next sprints or adjust your current sprint to work. I don't think we need a history of sprints as long as we just have a record of what we're doing next week. You can just edit your current thing.
And I know
All
this
right.
is not like a huge deal, but I
Mhm.
really think that scale needs to be drag up and down and not drag left and right.
Honestly, that's a 1 second
wait, is it
change.
not right now?
It's left
No,
and right. Everything's
I
left
thought
and
left
right.
and right was rotate and up and down with scale. I thought that's how we did it.
No, it's all the same. Um, Scalar currently works off of cursor control base. There's the world delta, and I just need the Y. Y, and what is this? That's just a scale. That's still the same thing. I want the Y delta. F2 Y delta. I think that's really it. I think I literally just need this. Let's
All right.
save that and test it. Uh, yeah, stuff like that. If you think any stuff like that that bothers you, definitely we should just write it down. If we're not in like in a call or in a chat, just write it down in the Heartlamp channel or something, so that I can address it. Because stuff like that, that's 1 second. I'll happily do that right away. Let me just test it
Okay.
real quick. Host co-op. All right, we got this now. Up and down, left and right doesn't do anything. Up and down does. Yep.
Why not make it just out and in?
We could, but then how do you scale down? You have to grab from
In.
here and then go down, grab from here and go
The
down,
stickers
right?
have to have a
In
center
towards it?
just to do that. You have to you'd have to like grab from his shoulder and pull towards his stomach, which I think up and down is more intuitive. Actually, the real
Like
way to
yeah,
do it.
because if I do like what if I start from the left, then that's out here, right? And then I go in, but then it would then go back. You know what I mean? It could be wonky that way. It would be hard to scale small stickers, I guess is the way.
I mean,
To scale them
on mobile,
smaller.
it should just be grab and pinch and pull out, or pinch and pull, pinch and
Yeah.
move in.
We're also gonna need a smart selector, like on mobile, of like what were you trying to select? You know, because sometimes like if you're trying to pinch on something, it's going to be weird. So we'll have to, that's something you can try to figure out when you handle those controls of like, okay, you put 2 fingers on here, you're probably trying to get the thing in the middle, and you got to do a smart select to make sure like, okay, are you just slightly on a sticker or are you in towards the center of the sticker? Because you probably are pinching in the center of the object. So like so maybe we do a raycast all, see what all stickers we hit, and then figure out which one you actually decided to hit based on its layer and its like how
I
close
would
it is to the
assume the way it
screen,
works is
and also how close you are to the center.
if you're
Well,
hitting
you
to
program how it works. It's not going to be,
yeah.
we define that logic. Right now, the way it's going to work is just going to be the first thing it hits, and the raycast will go out from where your
The way
cursor
I would
is in the
start
middle.
doing it is what I should have said. How I should have said that. The way I would start doing it is it just doesn't activate if both your fingers aren't on the same sticker. But we'll figure it
But
out.
that could be hard for things like eyebrows or whatever.
Well, the
Another
eyebrows
thing we
need a
could do
whole
is start to
new
define
like.
paths. Yeah, we need to define paths for stickers. So basically, those polygon colliders, I want to keep using them, but I want to define a path for them. Because you can define custom paths and set them. So if we
You're
define a
trying to
path
cut
that
down
is
on the
the least amount
triangles,
of
you mean, by
triangle.
just
Exactly,
doing an
yeah.
outline?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
a
we
good
just
idea.
manually define the paths for each of them, and then right now it just
That's
applies
an
them automatically.
optimization thing, though. I wouldn't put that on your next sprints, but that is a good idea.
No, it's something that we need to do at some point. It's part of the reason why you get slowdown on mobile, I bet, because of that stuff. Anyway, what else do we want to do?
I have
All
a
right, so
manageable amount currently. I think this is the amount that I can do.
better hotspot accuracy will happen with Jeff's cursors, so I'll just replace the cursors when they come in, assuming that those come in next week. That should be done next week. Or if you can paste those into Discord or wherever, Jeff, or put them in the game. Actually, just upload them into the game. There's a spot for them somewhere.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. And then after that, what do we think is more valuable? Panel control. Okay, so Chris said we want text bubble stuff. Shit. Well, this is not quality of life improvement. So I'm gonna
Text
put this
bubbles and
bubble.
typing in text bubbles. I realize that's much more work than the poses probably, but the
That's actually not too bad. The
poses and
only thing
text
I'm worried about
bubbles
is
is what
the
I would
text
love to
bubble
see
stuff.
from you next week. If that could be in the game, but if you're going to be the one to do that, if that could be in the
Yeah.
game by next week, and then after you put it in, then I could fiddle with how it feels.
Yeah, network rework too would be good too. I want to put that in. That's probably top priority, but I won't be doing that. That'll be over the course of a couple weeks. But ideally, I want to make it if I can make it so that I wrap my networking stuff around the sticker and that the base sticker, the core sticker, is just like a regular local object. Then I could right now I'm being super protective of a lot of code because it's complicated and fragile. Um,
Wait,
uh,
how is that different? How does it work now compared to I don't know what wrappers
the
are.
sticker itself is the network object. So I'm making direct changes to the network object itself. The sticker has all the network code in it, which is nice because all the network code's in one spot. But it makes like the sticker logic for setting like the sprite and all that other shit is mixed in with the logic for communicating the sprite across the network. It probably shouldn't be. Ideally, what I would do is I'd wrap a network layer around the sticker so that the offline sticker, which is basically the sticker, and then I have a network sticker that wraps around it that basically checks for changes in the sprite renderer and communicates them across the network when necessary.
So I still don't really understand what the difference is. Like you're still only sending the index and the position, right?
No, the point is organization. So like, look, this is the
Okay, so
offline sticker.
this is
No
more of a, like
networking
a
code, right?
philosophical how it should be built thing than what's actually getting
Because
sent.
then you could mess with this sticker shit in here without having to worry about fucking up my networking, as long as you don't change like the sprite renderer weirdly,
I see.
right?
Okay, yeah.
So
All right.
then I'm being super protective of the sticker code, the cursor controller code, not letting you mess with them because they are fragile right now, and that would make them more or less fragile. Basically, I'll trade some processing power by having a wrapper around that checks the sticker stuff independently, and every once in a while that just checks it. If I can figure out a way to do it in like a callback, I'll do that. But anyway, that does that, and then you can then you can participate a little bit more in some of the programming if you want, because I know I don't want to completely cut you out of the programming if you want to.
I just want to
do.
work on. I just want to get that room to be how I imagine it. I don't care how that happens.
Right. I mean, yeah, I've said last week that my ideal version would be I do pretty much all the programming, and I just program pieces for you to put together in such a way where you can just spend all your time playing with
I
the
mean,
pieces.
I do want to
and
program
feel
things like
responsible.
movement and lerp and look stuff that is presentation based, and like
Yeah, that's fine. And I'll probably like go through and just check. As long as you're not doing anything in update loops, I'm usually pretty fine with that. Like just go do because there's nothing like that you can break with that usually performance wise. Just don't do this stuff in an update. Just do it in a coroutine that stops eventually, or
I did learn a bit about coroutines. I like them for buttons. I don't know. We'll see if I like them elsewhere.
All right. Sorry, I keep sidetracking, but Steam page will come when we get a company, which will probably be in the next 2 weeks. Network rework is all I'm doing. Text bubbles and poses are the highest priority, and then quality of life improvements over time. Jeff is gonna finish out the roadmap, right?
Mm-hmm.
That should be done hopefully early next week or this week rather.
It will be
Or
done pretty soon.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. Because I do
I
want to post.
haven't been home at all. I just got home
Yeah, that's fair.
yesterday.
And then revamp Mr. Ideas to go in the middle of our sticker picker when we get it. I guess sticker picker will go under that if I somehow imagine doing, if I can do a ton of things. Dave, did you do all the backsides, or is this for this week?
I'm
Did you
missing
update your
two
sprint?
dudes. I gotta do the
Okay.
doctor and the bearded guy.
Okay. And then just keep drawing.
Yeah, I'll try to
Um,
just get stickers.
maybe
Random
one set of
stickers.
poses for everyone, or even just their custom pose, like you said, their character-specific pose could be fun. And Chris is going to clean up the title screen, or you already did this. This is your last week's pose stuff, right?
Yeah. My next week is I guess I'm ditching the 3 things because yeah. When Yeah, I guess do we want to say in 2 weeks we want to have all the quality of life stuff? Is it possible to say in 2 weeks we'll have all the quality of life stuff in and all the basic features? And then at that point we'll start working on the poker mode?
It's hard to say. It depends on how hard the network rework is for me. I think I could very easily get the text bubbles in by the end of this week. for sure. Poses and maybe the poses. We'll see how. I just have to figure out how I want to integrate them in a way that, like, it's not just the poses. I want to make a tool for Jeff
So
and Dave to use to confirm that that everything is working and that to easily add their shit in.
for other artists, I do think, like, I get the whole put them in folders, and maybe that would be where I would start with us and stuff too. But if other artists are going to collab with us on this, I think they're going to want to give us sprite sheets, and I think the way I would do it is to write some code to go through the sprite sheet and assign the sprite without the animator.
Well, that's why I wanted to. That's why I asked Jeff and Dave what's easiest. I want to do whatever's easiest for the artist in this circumstance. So we wanted to find this pipeline now to make it easier for when we do have those sticker packs and stuff. So yes, we need to. This is part of the pipeline, and I'm just yielding to what Jeff said was easier.
I mean, that's easier for me. I don't know about.
It really doesn't make much of a difference
Anybody
for me
else?
at all. Doesn't make a difference either way to me.
I would think a professional artist would want to give. I mean, not that like you guys are professional level skill, but like people that do it for a living full time, and do character work and stuff, I would think would want to give you a sprite sheet. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not an artist.
I don't
But
know.
that's-
Yeah, maybe we can ask some people.
I mean, I thought
that work.
spreadsheets were more like for animating.
Yeah,
I
well,
could be wrong.
basically,
I don't know about
I think
that.
Chris's argument is like this is basically like an animation, but you're not running it as an
That's
animation.
right, exactly. It's not really.
Yeah,
It's not
okay, I
like.
got what you mean. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like you're cycling through
You
the
might be
frames
right
just
then,
whenever
yeah.
you want. But the question is, like, are sprite sheets only convenient because the software uses them as a single texture, so it's actually smaller.
For
to
the
do
artist,
sprite
I assume it's convenient because it gives a center point. It gives you a point of reference for where the character's feet are going to be in the next panel. Because like, if his feet are here in this one, that's where the ground is in that
tool
one.
lets you walk through it, but like you would like it would be maybe or would it
As
be
a sticker, yeah, that doesn't really matter so much.
Yeah, would it be easier for like you to know in the individual, like, okay, this is a 512 by 512 image, my feet are always going to be at this height in
Right,
this
it's
512 by 5 this pixel height in this 512 by 512 image.
It is not
So,
the
like,
end of the world,
I
but
don't know.
like it could like if the if the feet are not always aligned in the stances where their feet should be aligned, right? Then every time if you cycle through without picking up this, you might have to pick up the sticker and slightly move it to get his feet on the ground, which is a tiny annoyance, but yeah, it's not the end of the world, but it is a nice.
Well, this is a perfect example. Well, I mean, that's what I think it might be easier consistency wise to have all of those stickers. Like, my guess is that when artists do that kind of shit, they actually just have a tool that does the framing for them and puts it all into a spreadsheet. They probably, in effect of how they work, it probably just looks to them to be one 512 by 512 box or 256 or whatever some square box that they are working in, and then they just click to go to the next frame, and they can probably see ghost images of their previous frames, right? And then when they export, whatever tool they're working with is what makes it a sprite sheet.
Yeah.
The sprite sheet, I think, is more of a facet of organization to keep all of those sprites that have
That's
the same
that's another
animation
benefit
together.
too, for sure. Yeah.
And to probably compression, it's probably smaller to have just fewer slightly larger textures of a 4x4 multiple size that can be compressed into something a little bit more manageable.
Yeah, I
So
guess
it's probably better that way.
when the biggest thing in your game is images, I'm not sure what the like extra added time when something's compiling is to like, okay, I'm done with this image, move on to the next one. That's the time that you're removing, right? But like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
you're not even really removing. Yeah, I guess like because you're loading that texture. Yeah, you're removing that time. You're loading that texture in, and then you're shifting the frame basically on it. But it comes at the cost of memory. You have to load more. You have to load that whole texture into memory, and keep it there. As you go in. So there's a cost benefit of it, but it doesn't really matter too much for us because our sticker shit won't be that big anyway.
Oh wait, so if you're using a sprite sheet in, I have a guy in a room,
That's
right?
how I
and-
assume it works. I don't know for sure, but I assume that yeah, it will like if it's going to step through those frames, I assume that it's actually just loading the texture and then shifting when it's like when it goes to the next frame. It's just shifting, like setting an offset for which pixels it's sampling
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
when
that.
it's drawing it. That's the way I would implement it if that's how the way I planned to implement it if we were gonna go that route. Um, it would
The,
just be a custom shader that basically loaded the whole texture and then shifted its box based on some standard size.
but it's whatever. We could do it either way for now.
Yeah, whatever's easiest for Jeff and Dave, and maybe that's something, Chris. If you since it's almost Thursday, I don't know if you're going to the PGM, but you ask some artists at PGM or something, and maybe I can ask some artists that if anyone, a couple people have reached out saying they'd be interested in
see if I
doing
could
art.
find one. Most of the PGM artists I've met are just pixel artists, so theirs might not be as most of the people there are designers. It's not the same ratio as GDC, where there's tons of artists and sound people looking for work. There's lots of sound people at PGM though, a lot of them.
Let's update your sprint, Chris, since we're getting closer to the.
Hold on, I have it. My
I
new
don't want this
sprint
meeting to go too far past 9 o'clock
is
for you guys.
that's my new sprint.
Alright, I've been updating my existing print if you but you can just put it there if you want. I don't think it really matters.
Um,
Just that like we have one easy place to go to. I don't think a history really matters if you want to have a history.
that's what I was thinking, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's fine. I just
This way we
just
don't have
didn't
to
want to.
scroll
I
down.
just am never gonna delete anything though. I'll just move it down to a later column like this. Oops. Shift enter. Boom. 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 Character poses you're doing now, right?
Yeah, I'll do the character poses.
I will leave character poses. Make feel good.
Yeah, the control stuff is big, and if you get bored and want to try to figure out the layout for mobile layout in general for the playroom, that is super important. That is something that people right now don't like at all. So Jeff will do the roadmap. Anything else here? Oh, Jeff cursors will be on yours if you want to update that.
Cursors, I have to redo Mr. Ideas.
That's not high priority. We can that can go.
Yeah, Mr. Ideas can come later. I don't know if you want to think of a background layout or whatever that looks a little nicer than just the like purplish blue color that we have.
Yeah.
I do think the background should be not busy though. Like we can't be the same as the title screen.
No, I agree.
No, yeah, it shouldn't be busy. But I think it should have at least the same aesthetic of the title screen. Like maybe I'm not sure if it should be white, honestly, but maybe something like maybe white. Like I don't know yet, but I do think it needs to be. Right now, they don't feel like the title screen feels like closer to a real game, right? And the play space feels right now like a prototype still.
Yeah, I think the you could do two things to fix that, which is do a little bit of. I do think the background needs to be dark. Like desaturated or dark enough that the stickers pop off of it, and that there's a defining difference between the inside the panels and out. I don't think it should be totally white, but it could probably lighten up, and you could probably do a little bit of like hand-drawn, sketchy nonsense at the very, very bottom of it.
What if we did some super stylized, like the left side of the screen is like the crease in a book, like a comic book, where like we kind of give it the look like it's like you're on a page. It might look tacky and shitty.
Could do
could
something
be
like that.
If you were gonna do that, I would say like, oh, next comic, it's got to be like you're flipping the page and shit.
Yeah,
if you're
I
gonna
could
do
probably
that,
make
you
a
gotta go
shader
all the
that did
way.
that,
You know.
Yeah, definitely. But it could be cool, right? That could be neat. We could also just do a paper texture on the background, like just or something similar. Think about stuff like that. Like I don't know. You're the designer, the graphic designer. You'll think of a better idea. But stuff like that, I think could be cool.
I do think yeah, just not busy and like dark enough that the stickers pop off. It still is my only 2 requests for that.
Hmm.
Um,
All right.
did I not hit enter?
I
Here,
think that's
here's my
about
new
it.
ones. Also, Jeff, while you're here, I don't know why it doesn't work on Marcus's screen, but I should just be able to fix it by having it reference the camera edges instead of an actual position. But basically, so here's the new title screen. Are you watching?
Hold on one sec. Watching.
All right, here's the new title screen. And now these buttons, when I hit host, you know, the game modes come up here, and then I can go back, or I could type in here and hit join, and that's all I was gonna do for now. I was thinking of maybe doing something where I don't know, join code, for the join code hide, I'm literally gonna do the same thing, just have a button that does it, literally is the exact same thing to hide it. But any notes from a graphic design perspective?
If you center the join code thing off to the right, maybe it looks weird.
So the reason we can't do
Yeah,
that right
is
now is that in the room, although we're going to be getting rid of Mr. Ideas in the corner, although I don't think we should, for the poker mode, he should still be there for sure. You should drop your coins into something that he collects them with, and he should be there. But in most modes, I would say yes, this corner will be clear. But right now, it takes the canvas from room to room, so like that will be over. The join code will be over him. Also, look how much nicer the join code.
I do like it all. I like your adjustments.
Thanks for these.
Though I just wish that it was working on my thing. I don't know why it isn't.
Maybe like have join code and like the actual join code like under it and centered instead of next to each other, because there's like a bunch of empty space just like sitting in the middle, you know?
like here, you mean?
No, I meant on the
On the
the
previous.
actual
main
line of
screen.
text.
like here.
Here, let me see your. Take a screenshot of my screen and then draw on it on your screen.
Well, here, look at my screen.
I'm watching your screen.
If you had like join code and then have the join code come up here. Or
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
swap the fonts or whatever. It's just that there's there's nothing going on in the middle of the screen.
So you're saying put
Well,
this in the very middle, this join code stacked on top like that.
Yeah, I think. Plus, it's easier to pick out the code, and that's what people are looking for when they're starting the game.
I mean, that would solve a problem for me, actually. So, I'll try. I do feel like if it's that way... Yeah, we'll see how it looks. I'll try. It will solve a problem for me, so...
we should also, if you have time, I still think it would be really nice to move those, like, adjust the play space layout to center those, horizontally center or vertically center those panels, and put the join code somewhere that is out of the way, but also, you know, you're already gonna do the collapsible, but we still need a button for it, right, to show it to have it pop back out when you want to see it.
Sorry, you're talking about in this room?
Yeah, exactly. Like the join code's in a shitty spot here.
Yes, it is. The only
It's,
reason I didn't want to move it was because I didn't know if it would, first of all, like moving it, there's like, all sorts of like boxes in there that will like block where you can type to it, and I thought you wanted to have this and the other one.
I don't know what boxes you're talking about block it, other than like the buttons they're the only boxes in the actual thing. Everything else should not be raycast blocking.
I'm not sure, but or I can show you in a minute. But like if I move this over here, it can only go so because you want this to be the same in the same spot in both rooms, right? You don't want to have to.
No, I don't care where it is. I just put it there because I happen to use it there.
Okay, all
But
right.
like
I thought you wanted
I
it
don't.
to never move.
No, I don't give a shit where it was. That was I just moved it over there because it was on the left before and it was getting, or no, it was on the right and it was covered by Mr. Ideas or something. I just moved it to the middle because it was slightly out of the way and it was the easiest way to set it up for GTC.
And so the thing that's
But that
blocking
can
is
move wherever the
this.
fuck you want it.
This where is thing that's blocking is something in here maybe. I don't know.
Those are the buttons themselves.
It's one of these boxes. See this yellow box and the other one behind it. I don't know if you can see it on Discord because Discord sucks.
The
But
one behind it. I mean, so
I'm
there's
pretty sure
right
it's this
there.
yellow
It's
one
just the join.
actually because like
Well, the yellow one is part of the code text itself. It's part of its own. Oh wait, that is the code. Oh, because you just overlapped them on the code text itself.
because like I can
But
only
it shouldn't be raycast blocking. I don't think.
I can't click into this box except for at a very sliver at the edge here because something is blocking it.
Well, we can test that. That's easy enough. So that's this. Unless it's just the hitbox for the thing itself is. I guess if I turn that off.
Like if I move this like that.
Oh, you're right. It is blocking it. Why are you blocking it? Code display. It shouldn't be raycast blocking.
Oh wait, actually, is it blocking it? Because I'm still having trouble clicking there.
No, I mean if you disable the code display entirely, then you can click there wherever. So it is the code display. Like remember that box didn't used to be there at all. That box used to be above it, so it never used to mess with it at all. But it's not supposed to be raycast blocking by default, but you could probably set a component
I actually don't know if
that
this is what's blocking it anymore because I still can only click, even when I move it like this, I still can only click.
just disable the join code display altogether, and then you'll see that there's something in there.
Okay, yes, it is something in there because yeah, now I'm clicking over here. What? So I could
I don't know, we
I
can
could just
fix
move these
that.
into separate areas if they don't. If it doesn't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
matter because if they don't have to be in the same spot in the same room, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't even need to show that term, that
Yeah,
phrase.
this
join
actually doesn't
code,
even need to be
whatever,
shown
like,
in here.
yeah.
I was going to
You
say,
can
are
redesign
you?
all of that. The only thing that matters is the join code display script, which is like what actually sets it, what the thing's looking for when it's setting that. So be careful. Like if you delete that object, you're gonna have to reconnect whatever's hooked up to join code display right now, which is probably in the main panel, the network connector.
I was just
Yeah,
gonna have it
it
so
has a reference.
when you host that it's hidden down here, and when you host after this thing has already served its function, it lerps up and sits
Yeah,
where it
that's fine
sits.
with me. But honestly, I don't even think that's the best place for the join code to go in the end. I think maybe on the top is the better spot for it, top middle or something. But you can figure that out. But we do need a button to hide it and show it when you want to see it. And
Yeah, that's simple enough.
yeah.
That's literally the same thing as all.
Jackbox doesn't have the problem because Jackbox doesn't have any games you can join while they're in progress. So it's a little different. Though I guess they have an audience thing, so I guess Jackbox just handles it. Jackbox doesn't have this much of an interactive game period, so they don't have the problem.
Do we
They don't
want
use
to
much
do a round of the competitive mode? We probably should have done that before.
We should play. Yeah, we should play one more round. I want to play it from the new version so I can monitor some performance shit with all of us playing. So I'll host a co-op, and we'll just it's DGJ9F6.
Blue. Oh, we're in co-op. Oh, you said you wanted to do co-op?
Yeah, well, the competitive one, I mean, we could try it, but it's more likely to just break. I don't know. Remember, it's not quite there. Do you want to try the?
I figured
co-op
that'd be a
one?
good reason to do the
Yeah, we could.
Oh, finally I got this one. This was like my favorite new addition to the words.
I met with that. I think I told you, Chris, that artist professor that didn't actually wind up being an artist professor, that was like making comic book games or whatever,
Oh yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
was
yeah.
like.
I meant to ask about
I,
how if that.
I wound up meeting with that lady on Steam, and she did not. It turns out she was not a professor. She was just an art teacher that is like teaching once a week classes for 10 and up. She does teach comic book writing or whatever. Um, and she commented on how I was like, yeah, maybe you could also like I told her, basically gave her the spiel and was like, yeah, but like if you want to be one of the people that make sticker packs, then we can, we can talk about how that might I just told her about how it would work, sort of thing. And she said she kind of was trying to move away from art in general, I guess, because she wants to move into narrative design and yada yada, but she would think about it. That being said, I was like, yeah, well, you teach a class on this, right? Apparently she's been teaching it for 10 years. Like, you teach a class on this, right? Maybe you could like play it with your students, and then they could give us feedback. Since use it as a break or a warm up, some way, or like a brainstorming session, kind of thing. And she commented on how our stuff is a little bit too
risque.
risque. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need a
Well,
PG-13 mode.
Well, we could
Which
just
is
tell
probably a good
them.
idea.
I mean, if we get rid of the censor bar and get rid of the pre-populated words, which should be an option,
Yeah.
then
We just need to PG-13ify some of the things. Mark's stuff has like, this should be excluded in a kid-friendly mode.
maybe
Yeah.
that's it. Maybe just kid-friendly mode checkbox, and that's it.
I mean, maybe we should just lean towards PG-13 and, like you said, text box it up so that people can make their own jokes, but like then there's nothing explicitly dangerous when we try to appeal to a wider audience. Anyway, do we want to do? I guess we could do competitive real quick.
I just figured
And,
this meeting is one of the few times we can actually test that with we haven't
Yeah.
actually even run that with a.
You guys should not be able to do anything right now. Yeah, I have no idea if this is gonna work or not, so we'll see. Because I've made some changes. It may not work at all, actually. We'll see. Or you may see people's hands because I don't turn them off anymore. Oh shit, the join code's hard to see. It's KQQMDR.
I also made it so that join code is always capitalized. That was important to me for some reason.
Is someone else joining? Or are we just doing
KQQMKR.
MDR? D is in David.
DR.
Alright, everyone's in.
Hold on,
and
don't
yeah, for some reason,
start
the last
yet.
token doesn't
Don't start yet.
load all
I
this.
need to turn this down. Loud.
It's very possible this is gonna break. The hands aren't supposed to be showing, but I had a bug where there was some frame issues, like the interpolation wasn't working on this mode. So you're gonna see everyone's hands, unfortunately, the whole time.
That's fine. I'm missing the fourth person.
Yeah, me too. That was a bug that we knew about at GGC, but that's fine. They'll just be blank. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Blue,
All right, you have
blue, blue,
See all your
time here.
hands.
blue,
See what we're doing.
I have unlimited.
blue, blue.
Yeah, unlimited. There's no
Ideas.
limit or anything. Just 106 seconds. I'm also realizing that the timer stretches weirdly. Alright, everyone loves a turtle.
Oh wait. Are we? This isn't one we're doing all our own.
We're doing it
You are doing it on your
individual.
own,
It's just no,
But
right now we're.
the thing that I had that used to turn off the hands locally, doesn't. It had a bug in it, so I got rid of it for now, because it was like a bad.
Also hurry. The time is still to
70 seconds left on mine. That should be syncing, so that should be pretty
I have
accurate.
67 when you said 70.
63 now for me.
61.
Weird that yours is ahead of mine.
Oh damn, I have a good one, but I don't know if I'm gonna finish it.
Also, all the stickers on the bottom are gonna show for a little bit.
Oh no! I can't grab these goddamn eyebrows.
I'm running out of time. Okay, well, there's mine.
Oh, I also did Awuga. Porn. I didn't give mine.
I almost got this one done. It would have been great.
I like where this one was going.
Definitely need to jack up the time on those.
Who's who? I'm the
I'm cheese.
Don't
I'm-
say
the
cheating.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I didn't vote. I didn't know I was voting.
I didn't know I was voting either. But I won.
Alright, that's a good point. That's a good. We should we should make that more obvious.
I actually think 3 minutes is a pretty manageable time for this type of game.
I felt a little.
That was a
Little
minute,
short.
a minute and a half
Used to be
too.
much shorter. I do think even just doing this simple, very empty version is much better as a competition.
I can't. Here.
Well, the other mode's not really. We didn't really try. We just have a free run. We don't really have a you know, a cooperative mode yet. We have a free play. Oh, why are these blocking everything? Oh, come on. Oh, somebody's block. I can't see because somebody's hand is in my way.
I can't grab these eyebrows.
Yeah, the
Eyebrows are hard. They need new colliders.
Is there another hat? I need another hat. Damn, mine wasn't finished because I couldn't find a second hat.
They're supposed to be saying, "Hey, come here," not "Yeesh."
You're supposed to have a different hat on
Or did it?
in the second one.
I just grabbed the wrong thing.
You don't want you guys know
I'm
where I'm
voting.
voting.
Sorry, I forgot.
That
We
one
can make like
deserved it.
30 seconds to vote.
I voted.
Alright, this is the mode though. Even though we didn't really do the cooperative, this is still like I have more fun just seeing your comics when they're done.
I would love to make a 2-panel setup and see what, and then be shown what everyone's third panel is, and I get to pick
I
the
agree
winner.
that will be fun.
That will be. I will. That will be. You know, this is cool, but it is Jackbox.
Yeah, but that's still cool. And Jackbox has interesting things too sometimes. Oh, I can't grab these fucking eyebrows. Get over here, brows. Yeah. Oh, there they are. That's not where I expected to be able to grab those.
Oh, come on, copy. There you go.
Also, scale right now doesn't copy when you copy. Scale and rotation need to copy. Oh, this is a disaster. These eyebrows are so hard to pick up.
Oh, I need
Oh,
one more
man.
second.
What a mess.
Can you just
doubled up
add
that
jack up the
thing.
time to 3 minutes to your sprint, Marcus?
This just happens, Dave, because when you copy something, it doesn't go to the
Ooh,
right
what the
layer,
fuck
so
happened there
it
with the mouse?
Turned
Did
the
you
thing
do
on.
that?
I must have been using the rotate tool when it was off screen.
Oh, if you were still holding it, yeah, that would happen. If you were still holding left click. It doesn't actually have any logic for that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just getting to my joke around the minute mark.
Well, part of the problem is
Yeah.
the hard to use hit like clicks and shit, right? They're hard to.
Yeah.
It's hard to click. We
Also,
really.
honestly, the problem I have is like I'm spitting a bunch of shit out, and I can't. Even when I get the thing, other things are being drawn in front of it, even if it's the last one out, and like even finding it in that pile, like using the if you just avoid the eyebrows, the clicking and moving is not that bad. Blue, 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 blue. Blue, 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 blue. Also, even the wine glass should have a secondary pose where it's empty. I needed that
Yeah.
last round.
Stuff. Lots of stuff should have poses for sure.
Come on, give me the damn turtle. There it is.
Also, do the edges like disappear for you guys? I can't see the whole counter.
Oh, really?
Uh.
I do not have that issue.
Oh.
Do
Do
not
you have it full screen,
widescreen.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go
No.
full
Oh.
screen because
Oh yeah, there's
dumb.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a setting that I had to fix that on the actual like HTML
Oh,
side
I
of
need 6 panels. I need 6 panels for this. I could do this so good with 6 panels. It's okay though. Alright. I could have probably done with a good word bubble there, but
Yeah. I was getting to the joke. There's gonna be a guitar one. He's gonna be saying "Hell yeah." Yeah, back and forth of props probably matters
oh, it happened
too.
again, and I definitely wasn't even on the rotate tool that time. It's the mirror tool. The mirror tool. The mirror tool just flips things upside down. Has anyone
No,
else
it
used mirror?
doesn't.
I could think it does. It's
I
happened
fixed
twice.
that. I mean, let's try it. Well, I'll try it right now. It definitely doesn't flip things upside down.
I mean, it doesn't when I see it on my screen, it's not flipped, but when it shows in the end,
I
it's
do
flipped.
like the bottom right one. Is a good one. Both the bottom right and top right are pretty good.
Here, let me
Yeah,
try.
try it. But
Or here, everyone mirror something so we get just randomly. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, it doesn't. It shouldn't. Like, it just copies its actual current position and scale, so it shouldn't. I only do mouse space humor. I hope you guys know.
Also, when I copy something on one panel, there's like a secondary version of it until I pull it onto the second
Yeah,
panel.
Dave. I had mentioned that with Dave. It's because I have it doesn't go the right layer when you copy it. I just have to set the layer properly.
Oh, there, the mirror's not in right now, right? Damn. I
The
just
mirror's in. Oh, the mirror. Gotcha.
come on. There we go. There we go. Also, didn't it used to copy and maintain the mirror rotation and scale?
No.
You never
Or
got
maybe
that
it
in?
did in the very beginning, but not on the networked version.
Undo.
Undo would be a nice touch, yeah.
All right, my mirroring is if the mirror flipping happens, it's going to be very subtle in mine because I still wanted my comic to be good. So I picked something. I've actually built my joke around it.
God. Oh, this one, yeah, maybe you're right. This one looks like it might have mirrored for me, but I don't know why it would. Is this
I
yours,
mirrored
Chris?
all these. This is I
It's not
mirrored all this
mine.
shit.
Mine, I counted for mine. Mine's going to be very
The
subtle.
middle one I mirrored, and that's the only thing
This
that
is
was
mine.
upside down, right?
Interesting.
Maybe it's just the middle panel.
Actually, that kind of ruins it because now
Oh,
Wait, did it...
all my guys, those two guys are flipped. The first two are flipped.
Okay,
from
good
where
to
I had
know.
'em.
There's a weird mirroring bug. Let me go look at the code for that. That makes no sense to me.
also you should disallow voting for yourself, and if you click on your own comic, it should say "Don't be a dick."
Yeah, probably. Let's see here. Mirroring.
I do got to go to bed soon, but I do think yeah, if you could jack up the time, fix that mirroring thing, and allow you to not vote for yourself in this mode, those would probably be pretty easy changes, right? I mean, maybe not the fixing the mirror bug.
If I go to the sticker, I mean, that should be easy. I just have to figure out why it's doing it in the first place. It's probably just scaling the wrong spot, but. Target world screen position, spawn sticker. That was the sticker manager.
Oh my god.
All local stickers, network stickers.
I just need the front-facing robber, thank you.
Oh, that's why Wait, I don't understand. Oh, yeah, I do see. Okay.
Oh no, but now I lost my Awooga. It's all at the bottom of this pile. God damn it. Give me the Awooga.
I know that's happening. That should be easy to fix.
Ah, I'm not gonna get a comic
I
done.
need to send a vector 3 as a scale.
Also, if copying could maintain the, you know, rotation scale, etc., that would be very, very nice.
Yeah, that should be doable.
Here, I'll make a quick list. Copy, maintains, scale, rotate.
It's funny how like the giant pile of stickers is still visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I-
didn't clear them
I-
out.
I-
It's not visible in the final show off thing, but it is. Alright, that is more like having it be a the gamify, jackboxifying is nice. Definitely
That's what I'm
helps.
saying. Get
Yes,
that
that's I
font
want to
in
get
there.
to a mode where we can be testing like I want to get to a place where the features are in and the quality of life is such that we could be testing the game regularly within like 2-3 weeks. That would be great. We could start with the
That should handle the mirroring issue. That's an easy bug to fix. I'm surprised that held up as well as it did. I changed a lot of stuff. I thought the competitive mode was gonna break more. I can't test it. Whatever. I'm pretty sure that'll fix all the mirroring stuff. So. There we
What
go.
was the third thing I was complaining about? Copy should maintain scale, rotation, and mirroring. Jack up the time for competitive. Fix mirroring bug. Clear pile of stickers in front of everything. Oh, and can't pick your own.
Yeah, I can do the copy now.
Do you want to make a channel for bugs, Marcus, where we can report our bugs? So that if that thing that happened to Jeff happened, he could take a screenshot and post it in there? Or I guess
Yeah, go
Dave,
ahead.
since he's the leader of the...
Dave did give me access, but I have not messed around with it. But yeah, that makes sense.
Dave, can you make that channel? Or that... Just make a Heartlamp stripped bugs, bug reporting channel.
Yeah, I can. I think Marcus can too. I think everyone
Yeah,
can.
I'm
at
just
this
working
point.
on. I'm doing the copy fix right now. Magic number.
Um,
Why is that? That's a dumb thing I did.
But yeah, I can't wait till we can get the... Once we can get the coins in that mode, I think it will be really fun. Like, I would love to win a round and have coins rain from the sky.
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, I got 3 character coins out of that one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I do think, that's why I think radial menu, even though it's would be very, very nice to have, in that mode, you're getting random stickers anyway, so we need it, you know, that picking mechanism doesn't matter for that mode, so...
Yeah. Alright, I'm just about done with this. I just need to put in like the stippling. or the
Why do you
headstones.
have a poster for the usual suspects there?
Oh, it was my first go-to for the cycling poses panel, but then I went Charlie's Angels instead.
Ooh, all right on. I like the I'm glad you went Charlie's Angels. I like the turtles with guns. I was saying before, Dave, if we do a devlog towards the end of this thing to market it like a video devlog, would you want to be the guy on screen? Because
It's like a guy on screen mean.
I mean, like, you're talking to a camera and explaining the game and trying to sell
Like
it.
that's your wheelhouse. That's you're always talking games.
Can I borrow your DSLR
the
camera
strangers.
then? That's a nice camera, right?
Nice.
Or maybe it doesn't matter if anyone's on screen. I do think the way we market this, like I was saying to them before, it's not the type of game that's super interesting to talk about working on, but I think towards the end we could do a, hey, we're trying to market our game and this is how it's going, sort of a marketing log, or like a getting them eyeballs log.
A vlog.
Where like we
We should have done a diary of GDC or something.
oh god,
While you're there.
imagining doing anything extra at
Actually, on
GDC.
top of whatever.
It was so fucking busy. It was insane. Like literally, you wake up, you head to GDC, you're there, you're doing stuff literally back to back to back to back, and then you
Can't even make it to all the stuff because like you have to choose because like it's everything is back to back to back and they don't build in any like travel time in between. So like if you go to this thing at 11 and you want to go to the one or the the 12 o'clock one, you basically have to leave and sprint across the fucking 2 blocks or so early. And even then you might not get in because sometimes the lines are just super long. But
the copy stuff should be in now. I'll push this stuff in, but I haven't tested networking wise, so that could still break.
I do think we could send it out to streamers and then like record a devlog about like what we learned from other people playing it, more like what the playtesting is telling us and that sort of thing, rather than like these are the mechanics of the game and this is how I made a render texture or whatever. Like that stuff I don't think is gonna do super well. But I have a game I'm trying to sell and this is my journey in trying to sell it could work. But it's not something I would do till the very end.
What else did I fix? Copier, scaler, using Y delta. What was the other thing I did? I already forgot.
You already did.
I just did.
Mirror bug.
Oh well, yeah, that's true. That was a side effect of what I was already doing, but now it will just work because I'm sending the scale.
Alright. In the regular Heartlamp channel, I put a list of the things that jump out at me about the competitive mode and just generally the game right now. For the eyebrows and stuff, how are I could I could do a hash set, right? I could say these are all the things that need a box collider instead of a polygon collider. These are all the images that need a box collider.
Yeah, or we could just always use the polygon collider and define paths for them, right? So
well, but for the
path...
oh, you're saying like we could just make it a box.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd still need to denote them and say the dimensions of the box somewhere for each of them. Is the only.
Yeah, so like basically every sticker will have the sticker assets like the poses that Jeff and Dave define, and then also a way to define every actual image will have a way to define a path that is associated with each one of those. Exactly how to group all that, I'll have to figure out. But that's the best way, because being able to define a path is so nice, because it's just a set of numbers, right? In local coordinates. And I could make a tool that you could do that like in the editor. You know, I could make a tool that lets you literally click on where, like on the sticker, to create points for a path and draw it out. It'll take a little time to make that tool, but I could. It's doable. So then all you would have to do would be going through and like, since you say you like that kind of busy work sometimes, go through and just click, click, click. Here's a triangle. Click, click, click. Here's the next triangle.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Alright, anything else? I gotta go to bed. I really gotta go to bed.
No, it's getting late. I'm just building and I'm gonna test my fixes on the network real quick.
Oh, the other thing I did want to
exactly-
bring up, which we can talk about once we get to the modes, I guess, but was for the sharing panels and sharing on, you know, the Zynga guy idea, we actually have to have a conversation about what that looks like, because like it's actually not as straightforward as I originally thought it would be. I'll explain later, but we don't have to go into it now because it'll launch into a big conversation. But it's actually how to implement that, how players come across that, and like what it is a little more complicated than I thought first. And what was the other thing? There was a third thing I meant to bring up in this meeting that maybe I'm gonna look back on the chat quick. Our panels, which we already sort of already talked about. I do think the competitive mode will really shine once players can add and resize panels.
I still think that's like ways off. But yeah, I want it, but I think that is beyond version 1.0 of like our game. If we're shooting to have something.
Wait, like that?
that
You see that as something after release, full release of the game?
Yeah, after we start charging people, I think we can start charging people for the game in, you know, after we have the Steam page up in June. I guess we don't want to release it officially, right?
I would, yeah, I would want that in before release, I think. Oh, I mean, I want to at least test it and see what value it adds before release, because if it's way better that way, and I think it will be, because I think at least when I've played 2 or 3 rounds.
I don't think it's a bad tool, but I don't think like the average person is going to. I think the average person would just want a set of layouts that they could swap between.
That's also an option. That's the easy way to do it.
I just think that getting a dynamic system in that makes that's easy, that's robust enough to be worth it, and easy enough to fit on the screen.
We would at least need multiple panels that they can swap between, which was the original plan. But I would at least want that in, because on 1 out of 3 comics, I would say I'm like, I have an idea here, but it would require more panels. And especially, it's going to be even more so once the text box, typing in the text boxes is in, because like, all the time I do think of like, oh, if I could erase this here, I would write, this is the line I would write, and then I could build a whole gag around that.
Yeah, but so like that also makes the presentation stage kind of hard, and even the voting stage kind of hard, because then like, all right, so like, what if you just made a 3-tier, like a vertical comic basically, and then the person next to you made like a 4-panel comic, you know, on theirs.
Yeah,
You know,
I
to the
think
right,
in the
and
end
then, like,
it presents
getting
them.
the voting
I
stuff
don't think in the. I
is
think
weird.
Yeah, I mean I think in the end, it does do a. Well, in the end, either
We'll
it
have to
does a
solve it
fly
now,
through
but
thing,
yeah.
either it does like a fly through thing and is like, it always reads left to right, top to bottom, or
Yeah, but then like even when you're on the voting page, you still want to be able to read other people's comics.
or when it's presenting the individual comics, that part isn't is you're given the screen and you can control the camera and read through at your own pace.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be on a timer too, though, and you'll
It doesn't have to be
see,
though. I mean, it could be on a quite
Should be.
long timer.
Yeah.
I mean,
a 30-second timer at longest, I would think, if you want to get to the next, like, because you don't want people.
I would
waiting on
want
that
at least
for too
one
long.
mode where like you could build longer comics. You know, you get a longer time. You could build longer comics, and you could take your time to read them and see who came up with the best idea. Because right now we have 3-panel gags, and 3-panel gags are very versatile. There's a reason that 3-panel strips have.
And we could make settings that let people adjust that shit, so people could do that if they want. But the default should probably be like 30 seconds at max.
I wouldn't
maybe
make it a
depending
setting.
on-
I would make it its own mode. I would build a mode around like.
Well, we could easily make that a setting. Then we don't have to make it a mode, right? Like that's a pretty common setting for Jackbox to have, the time between rounds. And then like if the rest of the mode really functions the same, then there you go.
I do think I would still make it a mode though, just because you would want to build a game. You would want to gamify it in a way that like right now the competitive mode as is wouldn't benefit that. It would benefit from having more panels for sure, but like the way it is now, I would be totally happy with just selecting from predefined layout. But if there's
Well, maybe there's a mode then where like the improvement, the iteration mode, right? Everyone makes a comic first round, then you vote,
yes.
and then you have to pick from one of someone else's comics and make it better.
Yes, yes, exactly. Well, you pass it to the left and you randomly get someone's. I think it would be the way it works, and then you.
Yeah, something like that. And then you make it better, and then that way, and then when you get to the voting stage, then you can swap back and forth between the two comics that you see at that stage. Everyone gets a minute to talk about why theirs is better.
So that
like
was
maybe at that point though, I think it's a presentation. You are giving a presentation of how you improved it.
So at that point, all the comics are like. So I thought about this is like. At that point, at the end, when you get your comic or your original comic back, most of the work on that panel, depending on the number of players, isn't your work. And it's more like a game of telephone, and you're like, ha, this is where they went with it, right? And I was thinking maybe that mode or the vibes mode that I had pitched in the beginning. Remember the first time we pitched this?
Yeah, I like
pitched a few modes.
just like who best exemplifies this idea. I
would
still
be
like that
a-
a lot. That
yeah.
should be a mode.
Would be a good fit for the streamer-friendly modes where you're playing and the audience is then picking the winner. The players are not have nothing to do with picking the winner in those modes. I even thought about like you could do a word cloud thing where for the vibes mode the audience is throwing out words with like a exclamation point before them, and it picks 3 random things from the audience suggestions, and then you have to do those are the vibes.
Alright, I gotta call it there. It's getting late. But yeah, that all sounds interesting to me. But I will see you guys next week, and then we can keep updating. Yeah, keep updating the bugs page if you encounter bugs, and keep updating the sprints and shit like that. If you have anything else that you want me to do in terms of quality of life, just let me know. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright. I'll see you guys later.
Later. I should go to bed too. Oh, one last thing. If we do design Mr. Ideas as a snake, I don't know if that was a serious idea, Dave, but the more I think about it, the more I love it. If he's here, he might not still be here. If you do design Mr. Ideas as a snake, if that's what we go with, you should draw him like a thick snake, like from that Ranking of Kings show. Like there's like a 3-headed snake in that show. Use that for that guy for inspiration. Except obviously he doesn't have 3 heads, but
Okay.
or maybe he does. Who fucking knows? Maybe one's the good ideas head and the bad ideas head. And the middle one's
That
just.
meme with the dragons.
By the by, I probably won't. It's very unlikely that I'll be able to do a D&D campaign if I start working on this game a lot again.
Yeah, I can do it next. I don't think Dave wants to do it, and Chelsea doesn't have the time either.
Right on. Alright, going to bed.
Catch you later.